We started with things like working about what is association analysis. Then we came across to the topic called as frequent items. Of course, association analysis always means that we are talking about frequent items. So we came across that, right? Then when we were talking about frequent items, there was a problem. What was the problem? We could generate a lot of candidate item sets. Okay, we could generate a lot of candidate item sets. So we wanted to do what is known as the reduction of it. So how did we start doing a reduction of it? We started with a technique called as pruning. What is pruning? We need to sort of keep on reducing things or take out the ones which are infrequent, right? So we started with that and we saw that it's a very tough process. For that, we thought about two processes or two things. Okay, two techniques that could do what is known as reduction of candidate item sets. The first one was with regard to A-PROE algorithm. Okay, the first one was with regard to A-PROE algorithm. The second one, of course, was with regard to the reduction of the number of comparisons. A-PROE algorithm will be reducing what is known as the items. The second one is with regard to reduction of the comparisons itself. This is what we came across, and based on this we saw even two examples also, two examples for A-PROE algorithm that we saw. And we thought, okay, see, in exam you have to write only one example, like especially with regard to any one example you can take and you can sort of explain that. First thing what they're going to ask is explain A-PROE algorithm with example. So the two tips that you need to write there, first is you need to write an algorithm. That's very important. Okay, writing an algorithm becomes very important. You can see this is an algorithm. Again, it's taken right from the textbook, so probably the it may look like that. Okay, this is an algorithm. This is what you're supposed to sort of write first, but you will not understand this. Just look at it. You can never understand it unless you understand what is the steps for it. Okay, once you understand the steps, later everything becomes easy. Okay, so this is something that we need to keep in mind. Okay, so first thing is you need to sort of write an algorithm, then you need to write an example. What we are doing is we are taking an example, we are understanding what it is, how it works and all. Then we are going to come across and see this. Okay, once you are able to see that, this one becomes very easy. Okay, so let's take one more example. Okay, this is the third example of A-PROE algorithm which we are looking for. Okay, so I'm taking almost all the examples that are standard. When I say standard, these are generally the examples all over the world what people will take for you to explain A-PROE algorithm. Okay, so those are the things we are sort of looking for. So if I take this example, okay, I hope it's visible. Again, it's right from the data science tutorial. Okay, so let's take this example into consideration. I hope it's visible. So I'll just zoom it a little bit more. Yeah, even a little bit. Yeah, now I think it's pretty much visible. So let's look into this example. Okay, it's again example right from this web, so probably you can find it very written. We're going to take two more examples so that see why I'm doing it a little more extra with regard to A-PROE is because this comes even in your 7th sem. Okay, 7th sem machine learning. So I want you to be very clear with regard to it. Of course, in there when you're learning about this, you learn it from a machine learning perspective of what is the first iteration, second iteration, how much what is the accuracy level, third what is accuracy level, like that. Okay, of course, once whoever teaches machine learning probably will be teaching you this also. But if you know this, then it is comparatively a better aspect compared to those people who have not studied this. Okay, maybe people who are studying IMS now, they would not have come across this, right? So that's something that you got to keep in mind here. Okay, same with regard to your clustering, and also the next thing which is with regard to uh, the all the clustering aspects of it, classification aspects of it, all those things comes into picture with regard to that line. Okay, so let's look into this. Okay, we are taking the minimum support as 2 here. Minimum support as 2, and what is our number of transaction? Number of transaction is 5. You got your milk, tea, cake, eggs, cold drink, and of course juice. Okay, so and it's very clearly, I like this example because there's a coloring aspect of it. Okay, you can see very clearly the coloring aspect of it. So these are the 5 transactions and these are the items brought. You got your milk, okay, coming in 2 places. You got your tea coming in 3 places, cake in 1 place, cold drink in 1, 2, 3 places, X in 1, 2, 3 places, and of juice will be coming in only one place. What is my first step? My first step is to make sure that I segregate all these items as taking one at a time. How many times they are repeated? Based on that, I need to take that. That's my first step. Okay. See, even in example, I'm going to, even in algorithm, you're going to do the same old thing. Okay, that you got to keep in mind. Okay, what is algorithm? You can look into this example. See, first we are going to take k is equal to 1. First thing is you are going to find all the frequent one item sets. That's what you see in the second line here. The second line clearly says that you need to figure out all the frequent one item sets. Okay, so that's the first thing. That's what I'm doing here. Okay, that's what I'm doing here. I'm figuring out all one item sets. Okay, so when I do that, I can see very clearly that milk is coming twice, x3, tea is 3, cold drink is 3, juice and cake coming in one time. Okay, so this is something that you got to know. The next thing is you need to figure out, okay, see the minimum support is nothing but 2. Okay, minimum support is 2. You need to do what? We need to make sure that we are getting only the minimum support value. That should be either equal to or should be more than that. Should not be anything less than that. So what are the things that are less than minimum support? Juice and cake. Juice and cake is having less than minimum support. So that will be sort of deducted or pruned off or taken off or removed. Okay. So those two things will be removed. If you remove those two things, what is the thing that you are going to get? You are going to get 2, 3, 3, 3. Okay. Only those things will sort of remain. Okay. Those things will remain, and this is what you are going to get. We got your 2, 3, 3, 3. Okay. This is what it is going to remain. But this is with regard to 1. So I need to do it for two things together. How many items are there? They are closely. You can check right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why only 4? What about juice and cake, you may ask? Juice and cake are already taken out in the first instance itself. So you don't have to take that consideration here. Okay, you don't have to take that into picture here. So how many are there? Items 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 items are there. If you take 2 together, okay, 4C2. What is 4C2? 6. You get 6 contributions, 6 items or 6 combinations of these 4 items. Okay, if you are doing that, what are the things that you get? You can see right here 1, 2, 3, 4. You got your milk, eggs, tea, cold drink. When you take 2 at a time, this is what you get: milk, eggs, milk, tea, milk, cold drink, eggs, tea, eggs, cold drink, tea, cold drink. Okay, when I do this combinations, what are the number of combinations that you have? You need to check here. Okay, where and all we have milk and eggs. You got your milk and eggs 1. Is there any other thing? No. Obviously, milk and eggs comes in only one place. Okay. Then again, you can check for the next one. Milk and tea. How many places do you have milk and tea? See, milk and tea is in transaction number 1, correct? And also transaction number 3, correct? Okay. So the number of the items brought, the support for minimum for with regard to milk and tea is 2. Okay. Same thing with regard to other things also like this. Okay. The third one being milk and cold drink. What is milk and cold drink? You got your milk and cold drink in how many number of places? In only one place. What is that? Probably transaction number 3. Now you may be thinking, what about eggs and cold drink in this one? 3 transactions you're getting. Is that true? Let's check it. Okay. You got your eggs and cold drink in transaction number 2, eggs and cold drink in transaction number 3, and eggs and cold drink in transaction number 4. 2, 3, 4. So you got 3, places where it is sort of generating itself or coming itself. So when you take two things into consideration, okay, when you take two things into consideration, this is what you got. You got the the items and of course the support for it. And what is support you got? You got your 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2. Okay, so this is the support you got with regard to all the items. When you take two things into consideration, when you take two things at a time, okay. But our minimum support is nothing but 2. Okay, Our minimum support is nothing but 2. So if you take this into consideration, what is going to happen? If you take minimum support as 2, whichever the items that have this minimum support of less than 2 will be taken off. Okay, anything less than 2 will be sort of taken off. If you do that, what you are going to get? You see this, and when you take the when you take the ones which are less than 2 and taken off, what are things that will be taken off? Milk and eggs will be taken off. Milk and cold drink will be taken off. So what you get? You get only this. How many things? You got your 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 4 will be coming right here. Okay. Then what is the next thing? Next, obviously, I'm going to take 3 things at a time. Okay, 3 things at a time I'm going to take. And what is the general ones? Going to take the one. See, the maximum transactions that you have here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 transactions is the only one place, which is nothing but transaction number 3. All others, you have 3 transactions or less than 3. So obviously up to 3 we need to take. Okay, up to 3 only we need to take. 4, if we take, all these things will come. Minimum support will never be coming. So when you take all 3 at a time, okay, there is only one thing that is going to come. What is that one thing? XT cold drink. XT cold drink, if you take, okay, XT and cold drink, if you take, you can see very clearly what is the combination. You got your XT cold drink in transaction number 2, XT cold drink in transaction number 3. Only those 3 items, if taken together, will have a support of 2. Okay, we'll have a support of 2. That is very, very important. Okay, it's very important to sort of figure out that. Now the most important part. Okay, what is the most important part here? You can see XT cold drink is having a support of 2. There is only one item set with a minimum support of 2. So only one item set is frequent. So what is the thing that you got? Okay, what is the thing that you got? XT cold drink are the one which need to be kept together. XT cold drink are the ones that needs to be kept into consideration or need to be kept in together. That's very important. Okay, so what is, if you put this all these steps into perspective, okay, which is going to see, with regard to wherever the algorithm which you're going to see, how it is going to first you're going to look into the data in the database. Then we need to figure out what is the support or the frequency of items. We have taken here as the minimum support as 2. Okay, then the next thing is we are going to discard the items with a minimum support of less than 2. We are going to combine the 2 items. Then we are going to calculate the support frequency of all items again. Then again we are going to discard the items with a minimum support of less than 2. Okay, that's again combine 3 items and calculate the support. Then again discard the items with a minimum support of less than 2. That's what we did every time here. We took one at a time. We discarded the ones which is having support of less than 2. Then we took all 2 at a time. We discarded the support which is having less than 2. Then we took all 3 at a time and we discarded everything which is having support which is less than 2. So when you took all 3 at a time, this is what you got. You got your XT cold drink with a support of 2. Okay, that's very important. Okay, so only one item set is frequent. What is that frequent one item set? You got your XT cold drink because the item set has a minimum support of 2. Okay, see, where do you think all these things become very important? When you have to sort of design a very, very big retail store, okay, where you have n number of items, but you want to keep those items arranged in such a way that people will be taking those items in a very frequent manner. That is where these things will become very important. We are in this example, we are taking only 5 transactions and of course 6 items. Okay, 5 transactions, 6 items is very, very minimal. No one does that, right? I mean, when you take a retail store, for example, there'll be hundreds of transactions. Okay, there are close to thousands of items that will be coming together. Generally, how do you sort of figure out? Okay, we figure out how things will be, things like bread and jam, bread and butter, okay, or milk and butter. All these things go together is because of transactions only, because of getting to know how people are buying things. We're not doing, just for the sake of doing, right? We generally see the transactions, then only we say. And we always know, right? We use it in daily items that these things always go together. If people, they buy milk, they are also buying butter, okay, or ghee, like that, okay, because those things go together. So you can see this is what the minimum support of it is, and what you got, X peak cold drink, okay. So this is very, very important for you to. I'll take one more example, okay, probably the last example of your a priori algorithm before we move into the next part of it, okay. So let's take one more example for it. I hope it's visible. Yeah. So I'll take one more example, and you can see again it's a classic examples. Generally, the examples what we used to study and all when we took for the when you start studying for a priori, these are the examples generally we take, right? So if you consider this one, okay, this example, I hope it's visible now. Yeah, how many transactions? The bigger transaction this time because I think it's a last problem. Okay, before we move to the next part, the a priori algorithm. After this, probably there's nothing more. Now the a priori algorithm you are going to see, which is same of whatever you have came across with regard to steps. Then probably we'll be moving into the rules generation part. Okay, once you're done with rules generation, you are almost done with 50% of it. Okay, the number of questions may come, it will be very, very small. And what is the meaning of small questions? Okay, you may have close to around 8 standard questions, that too if they split it also, or close to, if you got around 5 to 8 questions, standard questions that are going to come in this model. What is the meaning of that? If you read those 5 to 8, you got the entire model. Okay, you got an entire model because see, we're talking about association analysis here. We're not talking like all the topics together, like what we took when it comes to model 1 or model 2. Here it is particular association analysis in that a priori algorithm, in that FP set generation algorithm. Okay, like that 5 to 8 questions, standard questions. Okay, once probably by this end of this week, probably will be around close to around 80% of this will be done. Okay, that too if we like go only with syllabus, but we'll not do that. We'll try to put in some extra things. Okay, for each and every problem we'll do at least 2-3 examples, because see, at the end of it, it's not just data mining. Okay, this subject will end here, but for you it should be in terms of data science. For you it should be in terms of machine learning. That is what I want you to become perfect with. Okay, so let's go for the next example. Okay, what is the next example? We have taken 9 transactions here, very big transactions, and you got the items. Okay, you got your A, B, C, D, and of course E. So they basically have 5 ones here. Okay, 5 items and 9 transactions. You can see the combinations of it. Okay, so what minimum support we have taken as 2. Okay, 2. As a number of transaction increases, we generally take a very less support because there will be lot of places where they are sort of getting mixed on out. So if you take a larger minimum support, then you will not be able to get only what is the items that are coming together. So we have taken a minimum support of 2. Okay, where the confidence level will be equal to 50% of it. Okay, so let's look into that. Okay, what is the first step? We are going to figure out what is known as C1 and L1. Okay, what is C1? Candidate set. Wherever you see C na, you need to keep in mind that it is nothing but a candidate set. You can see very clearly even in this algorithm. Okay, the algorithm which you see here, the same algorithm needs to be written into perspective. Okay, see, this is very important because this is where the problem will start. Then only you need to write an example. We are doing the opposite of it because you will not understand this when I say this, but you will clearly understand what it is probably once you do the problem, once you have done the problem. Okay, so you can see very clearly what is the first step. The first step clearly talks about we are going to figure out find all frequent one item sets. That's what we are going to figure out first. Okay, then you are going to keep on repeating it where you can see this k is equal to k plus 1, which basically means go for the next one, 2 frequent item set.
3 frequent item sets. Okay, for that you need to keep on generating the candidate item sets. Okay, you need to keep on generating CK. What is CK? C first it will be taking K is equal to 1. So C1, then C2, then C3. That's what you are going to see in this example. See this? First one is you are going to generate calculating C1 and L1. In the first step, we create a table that contains a support count, which is support count of what? 2. Okay, support count of 2, and you can see the table is called candidate set or C1, which is with regard to 1 items. So how many places that you have? A, B, C, D, E. 5 items, and what is their frequency coming together? Or what is the support count coming together? You got the support count as 6, 7, 5, 2, 1. Now, very clearly we can just by looking at it, we can figure out one important thing. What is that one important thing? Minimum support is 2. Okay. Minimum support is 2. We have taken all these five support counts. You can see right clearly here. Minimum support is 2. Anything less than 2, we are going to take it off. Okay. Now we are going to take out all the items that have a greater support count out of minimum support 2. It will give us a table of frequent item sets of L1. This is what I was talking about. What is L1? What is L1? Nothing. We are going to take out ones which is having minimum support of more than 2. Anything less than 2, taken off. So which one is going out? E is going out. E is dead. Okay, E is dead. So that's what you see even in the algorithm right here. Okay, see, generate candidate item set for CK. What is CK? CK will be C. K is equal to 1 means C1. 1 item sets. C is equal to 2. C2. Okay, is equal to 2, which is nothing but C2, which is nothing but taking 2 item sets together. Like that. Okay, so these are the things that you are going to do for each transaction. You can see very clearly for each transaction T that belongs to capital T. Okay, then what is the next thing we do? We do what is known as a subset. Identify all the candidates that belong to this. That's what we are going to do the next part. Okay, so you can see once again. Yeah, next thing. See, we got your C1 and L1. Next thing, we need to go what is known as C2 L2. Okay, what is C2 L2? Taking 2 items at a time. There's no need for me to take E. Wherever I have got E, I will forget it. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. When you take 2 at a time, how many combinations that you get? 4 at a time. We need to take 2. Okay, 4C2 is what I say. What is 4C2? How many items do you get with regard to 4C2? I get you think you get 4C2 is nothing but 6. You got your 6 items here. You can see very clearly in this step we will generate C2 with the help of L1. Okay. In C2, we will create a pair of item sets of L1 in the form of subsets. Okay, that's what you see even in the algorithm. Okay, see that we're talking about subsets for each and everything. Okay, we are talking about the subset for each and everything. Now, if you figure out that how many you are getting, let's look into that. Okay, A and B together 4, A, C together 4 times it's coming, A and D together 1 time it's coming, like this. Then what's the next thing? We need to figure out what is the support count of it, which is L2. So wherever you got 2, we'll keep. Wherever it is less than 2, we'll just throw it out. We just throw it out with regard to less than 2. So if you do that, what is going to happen? Okay, what is going to happen? Very clearly you can see. Again, we need to compare C2 support with the minimum support count, which is nothing but 2. And then what are you going to get? After comparing the item set with less than count will be eliminated. So if you do that, 4, 4, 4, 2. Only those things will be coming together. What are those? You got this one and this one. These two will be coming. And of course, these two will be coming. AB, AC, BC, BD. All other things, what about AD? Support count of only 1, taken out. CD, support count of 0 will be taken out. Okay, so we got this one. A, B, C, D. Okay, now you can see very clearly A, B, C, D. Only 4 are there. Now next thing. Next thing is again you are going to figure out C3 and L3. Taking 3 at a time. There are 4. Be careful here. There are 4 items A, B, C, D. Okay, when you take 3 at a time, 4C3 equal to 4. So there are 4 combinations that are possible. Okay, when you figure out that, when you write what is known as the number of transactions or the support count for each one of it, this is what you going to get. ABC is equal to twice it is coming. BCD is coming only once. Okay, our minimum support is 2. So if we do what is known as taking or keeping only those which have a minimum support of 2, what you are going to get? You are going to get only 1. You are going to get only 1, not more than 1. Okay. What is that only one you are supposed to get? You can see very clearly. Now, if you get that, there is only one thing that is sort of coming through. Now, we create L3 table. As we see in the C3 table, there's only one combination of items equal to the minimum support count. What is that? A, B, C. This one. Only this one is coming across as a minimum support one. So, what is the most frequent one? A, B, C. Okay, most frequent set is nothing but the ABC. What is the next thing? We are going to do this step. You see this same old thing what we did for each and everything. Then we are going to figure out, what is there in your step number 12, 13, 14. Okay, step number 12, 13, 14, whatever that is there, that we are going to do. And if you do that, what you are going to get here? Okay, let's look into this. Okay, last thing is to figure out what is our finding association rules for subsets. To generate association rules, first we will create a table with the possible values of the occurred combination. What are the possible combinations with regard to occurred combination? What are the combinations here? You are not going to take all the 5. No, A, B, C only. For all the rules, we calculate what is known as the confidence. What is the confidence formula? What is the support count divided by the total number of the variables that is there for each individual thing. For calculating a confidence level of rules, we will exclude the rules that have less than the minimum threshold, which is 50% or nothing but equal to 2. And for that, if you take into consideration, this is what you are going to get. What is it? A and B to coming together. A and B coming together along with C. The meaning of this is, be careful, keep this in mind. A and B coming together along with C. What is the support count that you have? The support we have taken it as nothing but 2 itself. So what is the value that you are going to get? A and B coming together along with C. Okay, 2 out of 4, which is nothing but 0.5, which is nothing but 50%. 50, 50, 50. When you calculate for each and everything, only ABC. Okay, only ABC, because that's what we got with regard to the A pro E principle. A, B, C, all combinations of A, B, C. A and B with C, B and C with A and C with B, C along with your A and B, A along with your B and C, B along with your B and C. Okay, when you figure out that 50, 50, 50, then you got your 40% here, 2 out of 5. Then again 2 out of 6. Okay, 2 out of 7. So this is what you got. But our minimum threshold is nothing but equal to 50%. Right? Our minimum threshold is nothing but equal to 50%. So when you do that, okay, when you sort of do that, the first 3 rules, what is the first 3 rules? You got your A and B along with C, B and C along with A and C along with B. Okay, can be considered as a strong association, which basically means you can see these 3. Okay, these 3 are nothing but taking all the 3 with 2 at a time. Okay, with 2 at a time along with the third one, you are going to get a support count of 50%. Okay, the confidence level of 50%, which basically means these 3, A and B with C. Or see, what is the meaning of this is they're clearly saying you keep A and B along with C together, or you keep B and C along with A together, or you keep A and C along with B together, which basically means you keep A, B, C together. If you keep A, B, C together, there's a very good possibility that, these three things will be taken along with, with every transaction, with almost every transaction, not every transaction, to majority of the transactions, these three things will be going together. Okay, that is the meaning here. That's a thing that you got to keep in mind here. Okay, all the three things will be coming together. This you should not forget. Okay, this you should not forget. And of course, what is advantages of a priori algorithm? Very easy to understand, very easy to implement. In fact, okay, the join and the prune steps of algorithm can be easily implemented. That's what I said. Join is nothing but taking together, two items, three items together. Pruning is taking out elements which is having less than support count. Prune is nothing but removing. Keep that in mind. There's no new term here. Removing, taking it off is nothing but prune. Okay, so that's implementation is very easy. What's the disadvantage? There's so many. Okay, but these things you're not going to learn in detail, of course. A priori algorithm works slow compared to other algorithms. What other algorithms? We don't know. There's so many algorithms. Okay, rules generations, there's FP, count algorithm. There's so many things that are there, but we are going to only talk about relevance, which is a priori. Just say compared to other algorithms. The overall performance can be reduced if it scans the data fields for multiple times. Okay. Next, the time complexity. This again, you are not supposed to know how it came and all. If you are interested, you could always figure out writing a design. You would have done all these things maybe in DA. Okay, fourth sem DA, where you figure out what is the big O notations or the complexity notations for each and every algorithm. Okay, that you can do and figure out that. Okay, but most important part here is, of course, Python implementation and all. You're going to see it in the machine learning aspect of it. This way of doing this, when you're taking one example at a time and when you're showing it, that is very important. And before that, you need to write an algorithm, which is nothing but, it looks very, very messy. It looks very, more like a complicated, some sort of a mathematical, genius people will be writing it. No, but when you understand the step, these things will become easy. Of course, there are certain things which you need to sort of buy it, especially with regard to this, the equations and all. It's nothing but, figuring out what is, see, when you do the manual way of understanding it, you understand. But when you're writing these equations, you need to write an equations. There's no other means. Okay, you need to write this. Of course, there are only 14 lines. I don't think so. It's a bigger thing for you to sort of remember this 14 lines. Okay, then of course, to know what one example, and then along with that algorithm, if you are able to do these two things, okay, then you got the 10 marks with you. Okay, it's a short one that you're going to get it in your exam. It's a short thing that you are going to get it in exam. Very important for you to sort of know this. A priori principle, also known as a priori algorithm. Okay, in the next class probably we are going to look into the second aspect of it, which is with regard to figuring out the rules generation, all those things. Okay, rules generation, and before that, if possible, we are going to look into the one more aspect of it, which is the reducing number of comparisons. But we'll see. Okay, so next 2-3 classes will become very important for rules generation aspect of it. And of course, there's FP growth algorithm model, which you are going to learn later. Okay, if you are able to do all these things together, now it's very easy model. Okay, very easy model. Of course, more important, please keep all these things in mind for your 7th sem. That's very important, because you're going to write a program, all those things there. Here you're going to learn only algorithm and you write it in form of theory. That's the end of it. But there you're going to write in form of a program, machine learning algorithm. That becomes very important.